Hello and welcome to module number 2, where we are going to be creating the workbook that we are going to be using for the rest of this training. So you need to open up your Microsoft Excel. I'm not sure exactly the version that you are using, but if you are using from version 2007 upwards, then you should have the ribbon on top here. Many times people confuse the workbook with worksheets, but you need to think of it in terms of an actual book which has got pages. So the pages of the book are the sheets. So in the same way, a workbook is this whole document that you open and you save. So when you save your Excel to a file, what you are saving is the workbook. So the workbook now consists of a number of worksheets. So the worksheets are different pages that you actually create. So if you can check at the bottom here, you will find that for me I've got one sheet only, which is sheet number 1. So if I needed to add some more sheets, I would simply point and then right click on my mouse, right click, and then select insert, and then I choose worksheet. So now I'm inserting a worksheet. So you can either click on it and then click OK, or you can just double click on worksheet. So now I've got sheet 1 and sheet 2. So for the purpose of this training, we are going to need 4 worksheets. So I'm going to insert again, right click and insert, then select worksheet and OK. I now have 3, right click, insert, worksheet, double click, and then the next thing is I want to change the names of the sheets so that they are meaningful. So what we are going to be creating is a list of employees, and we are going to put data there that is enough for us to demonstrate all the features of Excel that we would like to learn. So the first one, it doesn't matter whether it's sheet 1 or sheet 4, we are going to change the names. So I'll just right click on the name itself. So you have to point at the name, like in this case sheet 4, and right click, then you look for rename. So it then becomes highlighted. I press backspace and then I type employee data, like that. Then I press enter and I click on the next one. I right click and I say rename and I type in reports and press enter. On the next one, right click, rename. This one I call it let's call it parameters. We could call it dimensions because what we're actually putting here are dimensions, but a more commonly used word is parameters. So I'll press enter, then right click and rename. This one I'll now call it charts. So what we are doing is we are organizing our workbook so that we separate the basic data from the reports, which are also separate from the parameters or dimensions, which we also separate from the charts. So it is possible that we could have put everything just on one sheet, because as you might know, let me change my zoom here. Go to view and then zoom, and then I'll change it to 200. So as you might know, on your worksheet you've got columns A, B, C, D. So this goes forever to the right. After Z it starts AA, then BA, then CA until ZZ. So you can actually fit everything that you want on a single sheet. But we do not do that because it becomes too congested and you get confused as to which information is relating to what. So that is why we create different worksheets. So we have already started the process of classifying and separating our data according to the type of the data and as well the purpose. So we go to the employee worksheet by clicking on the name employee data, and then I'm going to go to A1, which is the intersection of column A and row number 1. So if you check up here, this box is called the name box. The name box. So it gives you the name or the address of the cell where your cursor is. So in this case it's in A1. If I click here, it shows you that I'm now in D4. But this bar is called the formula bar. So the formula bar shows you what is inside the cell. The reason why it's called a formula bar is because what you see on this cell is not necessarily what was typed in that cell. For example, I could type in a formula by starting with an equal sign, and I say equal to 10 plus 5. So that is the simplest format of a formula, equal to 10 plus 5. I press enter. So for somebody who is looking at this worksheet, if you ask them what is in A1, they will tell you there is 15. But according to Excel, A1 does not contain 15. A1 contains a formula which is equal to 10 plus 5. So it is always important, before you start changing things on the worksheet, check in the formula bar to see whether it's just a number which was typed or there is a formula. There is a particular way in which we are arriving at that number. Okay, so let's get rid of this. In the next session, I'm just going to be taking you through some revision of basic concepts, because there are some people who are not using Excel on a regular basis. So probably after you did your introduction course, you probably forgot some of the basic concepts. So I'm going to be taking you through the basic concepts in the next video in module number 3. So we go to column A and in row number 1. So we are on the employee data. So let us type in the title. We want to know whether this person is a Mr. or a Miss or a Mrs. And then we go to B1 and we type first name, and then you can either press tab key on your keyboard or enter or click on the next cell, which is C1, and then we want the last name or the surname. So when you come up to the column name B, there's an intersection between A and B. You can see that the cursor is changing from the arrow that is pointing down to a cross. So when it becomes a cross, it means you are on the intersection of the two columns. So you only get it on top here, not inside there. So if you'd like to stretch a column, you come to the top where the letters are for the name of the column. So you come to the cross on the intersection, then you hold down your mouse and you drag it to where you'd like to leave it. So I'm basically approximating what I think will be the longest name in that particular column. You can always readjust later, but you need a starting point. So I've got title, first name, last name, and then we need a gender, which says whether this person is a male or a female. So when we put our data here, we are just going to put the title, first name, and last name. We are going to leave the gender blank because we are going to, in one of the sessions, use the functions, which we call the string function, for us to determine whether this person is a male or a female based on the title here. So in other words, we'll put a formula in column D under gender, which is going to determine whether it's male or female. And then we need a date of birth. So normally we want to be able to celebrate people's birthdays. So from the date of birth, we want to extract the birth month. So in other words, we want to see what is the birth month and then the birthday. So in other words, if we put a date here, like for example, we say 27th of August 1979, the birth month would now be August and the birthday will be the 27th. So we will put in a formula using a date function, right? So we're going to use a date function to extract the day and to extract the month. You can also extract the year as well, but for the birthday we only need the month and the day. Then we are also going to need to calculate the age of the person. The age of the person. So we don't type in the age to simply calculate outside on a calculator. We say 2020 minus 1979, then we get an answer and we type it in. No, because next year the age will be different. So we want a formula that is automatically adjusting the age of the person with time. Right, so now I just remembered that I need another column, because many times when you are creating your reports, you do not want to separate title, first name, last name. You simply want one column which says the name of the person. So what we are going to do is we are going to insert a column here on D. So you bring your cursor on top so that you get that arrow that is pointing down. Then you right click on that column labeled D, and then you look for insert. So when you right click, it highlights the whole column going down. So you didn't just highlight a few cells, you highlighted the whole column. So we right click, then we say insert. So when you are inserting, you are putting a new column and then shifting the rest of the columns to the right. So in this new column, we click on T1 and we type in full name. We type in the full name. Right, so we have got the basic skeleton of this worksheet, and we are going to be expanding on it as time goes on, because we need basically all the HR type of information in this worksheet. So let's probably put in the basic employment information maybe before we close this session. We put a start date, in other words, when the person was employed. When was this person employed? And then we put the department in which he is working, and we also put the branch where this person is working, and then his job title. Job title, and then we say what is the month salary for this person. So it's going to be a big spreadsheet, but that's the nature of spreadsheets that we actually encounter in the workplace. So it's the title, first name, last name, full name, gender, date of birth, birth month, birthday, age, start date, department, branch, job title, and month salary. So once you have got this information in, I would like you to save your document. So you can choose the folder in which you're going to save your document. So I'm going to save mine. Let me look for my documents folder. Go to documents, my documents, then I say Excel training, then I put my name. So this is how I would like you to save your document, so that when you send it to me, I will know who it is coming from. So it's Excel training, then your name on it, and then you save. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for now so that you can work on this workbook until you get to this stage. So once you are done up to here and you have got all these worksheets, you can then proceed to the next module or to the next video. So I'll see you in the next video.